This is like why I go camping.
There's our base camp, friends. They just don't know it yet.
These bugs are a little too much. It's right where?
It's here. It's up here.
I think Amanda found our culprit. There's a little gap here in the sealant, and it's even wet in there. Welcome to Rivet and Roll.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Aaron.
And we're in Mississippi Palisades State Park.
Well, I gotta get this thing ready. We are going on a weekend trip, and that's what we're talking about today. We are weekend warriors. We just want to talk about that experience, what it's like being a weekend warrior versus full-timers, or even long trips. This is literally a weekend. It is Friday morning. I took the day off of work. We will be back on Sunday. Sometimes you make silly mistakes like this, and you forget to charge the camera from the last time that you went out on a trip, so gotta get some juice in this thing. Now I think we have full hookups at the site, but I am going to go ahead and fill up some water because I'm not 100% sure. So unlike our last trip, where we didn't go grocery shopping until we were there, we're going to maximize our time actually at the destination, which means I've gone grocery shopping now just to make sure we have everything we need for the weekend. Camera's on.
We weren't able to make fires in Alabama because it was just too hot. So this is our first official fire of the season.
And since it's our first campfire of the year, we are definitely doing the classic hot dogs, beans, and we'll be finishing it up with s'mores. What's this technique called?
Oven.
Rotisserie hot dog?
Fire master strikes again. I'm excellent at making fires. Aaron doubts me every time. Got a gust of wind, and look at this bad boy.
She got lucky. Things were already warm. I had already gotten things going. She rearranged things and got a gust of wind. That's it. That's it.
I get lucky every time. Every time? Okay.
This is like why I go camping. This is the like traditions that make camping what camping is.
Back in business. It's officially summer. Oh my goodness. Super good. It's a dream team. I make the fire, makes this.
The reward of my own work. Got anything on my beard? No?
So we're taking advantage of arriving here and having still some sunlight. We're doing the route, just driving, and then there's a couple lookout points. So this one's actually called Lookout Point, and there are several others.
Saw a base camp.
So we saw that base camp driving from above. When we were above, we saw it down. I knew I saw it. I knew I saw a silver mirage of aluminum. And now we were like, well, let's just try and see if we can see where these people are. And they entered, and creepily we're going back to our site and following them. But we're gonna flip it around and show you. There it is. There's our base camp, friends. They just don't know it yet.
playing a game called Dry Creek. At least that's what we call it in my family. I'm winning, but that doesn't mean I'm going to win. This is how we're going to round out our evening, so we'll see you in the morning. And good morning. We are starting our day off with some coffee and yogurt and granola, just having a nice morning in the camper in Carmen. And the plan is to go on some hikes. It is raining a little bit, so we may have to dodge some of that. One thing about being weekend warriors is you're trying to optimize your weekend, but at the same time, when you're packing, you're not always thoughtful about as many things as you might need. Because generally, you can survive off of less for 2 days, but sometimes you forget some key things like rain jackets. So we're going to have to dodge the rain a little bit and figure out maybe a plan B for today.
Galena says it's supposed to rain basically all day there, and then also tomorrow morning. What do you think?
I think we should stick to our original plan. Wait until the rain passes here, go on some hikes, and go to Galena tomorrow.
We're going to do a loop. It's called Sunset Hike. It's about a mile. So we think, the rain's holding off and that the tree coverage will be fine. It's a nice, crisp, late morning.
So we have now made it up to what is Lookout Point. It's down the end of this little driveway here. This is where we were last night, and just being able to look over the Mississippi River. And that was a pretty quick walk there so far. Except I'm more out of breath than I should be, but
It was a steep incline.
very steep incline.
He just approached us out of nowhere. We just stood still and then we ran away. Dang. That a palisade is a row of bluffs off of a river, so that's why this is called Mississippi Palisades. We're on the Mississippi River, and we have a row of these huge bluffs that are cut into the rock, and they're just gorgeous. I'm hungry, and Aaron's mad that I'm hungry, but it's time for lunch. It's almost 1 o'clock. He's mad because it's almost 1 o'clock, and we only went on one mile hike.
So like you said, that hike was 1.08 miles. There's a little bit of stoppage. We call it YouTube miles. We have to put the camera down and do it a couple times to get the clip. But it was a nice little 1 mile hike. And like you said, lunchtime, I guess. Alright, so after a quick lunch break, we're headed back out on the trails. This one is right off of the campground. So we're just walking through the campsite and over to the trailhead. Do
High Point Trail. It has kind of a one-off to, it's called High Point, so I assume it's high and you can see over the bluffs. We'll see. And then it connects through and goes back down to the campgrounds. So it'll be a nice little walk.
How are you feeling?
This is kind of a steep incline, but I think it's leveling out a little bit. And it has been raining, like we said, and I don't know, by the river and all that stuff, I think it's a little ripe for bugs and insects because they've been attacking us.
Whoa, you keep going.
Why? Are there a lot?
Yeah.
It's the stopping, you can't stop. I think they all were born yesterday. Oh my God, and they go up your nose and in your ears.
Wow, you have probably, literally, probably 30.
Above my head or on me?
Kind of bouncing around your head.
That's why I have my sunglasses on. It's not even that sunny. And then you have your hood on to protect your neck.
I had to get my rain jacket out because they were just attacking my neck too much, giving me a little bit of protection back there. But now I'm sweating back there extra, so trade-offs.
We're making do. But whew, We should have went hiking when it was raining more.
That was her way of saying I'm right. So we made it to the end. This is the overlook of the High Point Trail. Beautiful view out here. There are a bajillion bugs, but there's some hawks and cows down there. Okay, this might be it. All right, we're gonna head back because these bugs are a little too much. So we started there and all the way up. Started to come out here, got a little confused, went all the way out to the shelter, came back, went up and around all the way back down. Now we have to walk through the campground to our campsite. We made it. We made it all the way back. My watch says 5.93 miles. Good little walk. This is what I wanted to do this morning, but I'm glad we got to do it. Good morning.
Good morning.
As part of our weekend warrior approach, we're going to try and hit one of the small towns, smallish town, near our state park campsite. We are headed into Galena for brunch. What's the name of the place?
Otto's place. We're going to Otto's place. We just had a lovely breakfast at Otto's place. The biscuits were homemade. They were delicious. This building was named after a man who had bought the building back in 1899, and he had wanted to start a restaurant. That didn't pan out for him, so the people that bought the building next named it Otto's Place because that was his name, and he also wanted to have a restaurant. And then it was bought in 2019, and they retained the name, and it's just a great restaurant. It's an old house, so there's the downstairs and upstairs, and you can look directly into the kitchen and look over the town and across to Main Street, which we'll show you. We're about to walk along the river trail and cross over the river into Main Street and check it out. Checking out Main Street, buying some coffee, buying some gifts for other people, buying some gifts for ourselves, some cool soaps, some neat reclaimed wood, a bunch of cool little shops with arts and crafts, and things are just opening up because it's a Sunday morning, so there's more and more things available to explore.
We're reading kind of the history of Galena. It's not always great, but there is a perfect line in here that says, Galena became a thriving city when Chicago was still a swamp village.
A little bit of shade. Ulysses S. Grant came here in 1860 before the Civil War. This house was given to him in 1865 afterwards as like a gift from the town. This is a statue of Julia Dent Grant. According to the sign, it's only one of 3 statues dedicated to first ladies in the entire country. And this particular statue was also sculpted by a woman sculptor that was local to the area. When we only have a quick amount of time to really be weekend warriors, when we really can't take PTO. So we're gonna scout out places in the Midwest that are a quick drive but have a lot of nature and maybe have like a little city. So I feel like this was a really good, successful spot. It'd be really interesting to come back in the fall, see the colors change, and then like we said, there was a lot of activities in Galena that we weren't able to do this time.
Yeah, so this was only about a 2.5-hour drive. It had nature trails. We were by the Mississippi River, as well as the town. It was really a good mix of things. I would say the only downfall in this time frame was the bugs.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
So we're hoping that maybe at a different time of year the bugs aren't as bad and we can make this one of our go-to spots as weekend warriors.
So that will be it for this video. So be sure to hit subscribe to find out where in the world Carmen goes next.
It's right where?
It's here. It's up here. Where you're pointing is down here, isn't it?
All right, I think, oh gosh.
I found it.
I think Amanda found our culprit. There's a little gap here in the sealant and it's even wet in there.
And it's right where it is inside.
So it's right on the other side there. So I think that just means we have to get a little bit of sealant and finish that up. Reseal it a little bit. All right.
Part of the maintenance. All right.
Let's go. All right, welcome to a few weeks later and welcome to our very messy garage. I'm going to try and reseal this little bit of a hole that we think we have on the back of Carmen. So first, shout out to the Facebook groups, both Basecamp groups as well as just Airstream general groups. I think there's Airstream Addicts and then there's a couple of Basecamp groups that I'm a part of, and whew, are you all helpful. I did just kind of a quick search on sealant within those groups and found a bunch of different posts where people were talking about what they used, what worked well, got some good recommendations. That led me to Sikaflex 221. Now this is important because I just searched Sikaflex and found a bunch of marine stuff. Potentially could have worked, but this was the one that everybody was recommending specifically for their Airstream. So this is what I'm going to use and just kind of reseal that up a little bit and see what we can do here. So this is a first attempt for me. Hopefully it works. Alright, well that's not pretty. But I did it. And it's out, it's, you know, it's not something we're gonna look at. So as long as it's functional and keeping water out, that's all that really matters. So obviously we will keep you updated on if that works or not. Hopefully it does.